Welcome back to the Kirby's Barbecue YouTube channel. We have upgraded the mic. This is a Boya lapel mic. I got this suggestion from a fellow YouTuber, RC Edson. If you like business, stocks, real estate, and just growing your overall self education, then go check out his channel. But hopefully this mic will help with the road noise because it does have noise cancellation. So currently, this is where I have my filming setup, is on the patio of my restaurant. Due to the inside's really just not that appealing. It's just a kitchen. There's not any posters or anything cool up. So hopefully this works. But with that being said, what we're going to talk about today is what is the most important thing you need to have down before you start your barbecue pop-up business or barbecue catering business. And the most important thing is going to have to be what you're going to sell, your menu, your recipes, your flavors, the spices that you're using. So I was talking about this on a live the other day, and I figured I'd make a video on it because I think it's very important. Here in the Houston, Texas area, and in Texas in general, barbecue is more than just a food group. It is a culture. And so selling barbecue works down here, whether it's at a farmer's market, a birthday party, a sporting event, on the side of the road, a restaurant. It really doesn't matter. People are going to come out and buy barbecue. But that may not be the case depending on where you're at in the country. You know, if you're in Massachusetts, I'm assuming that you should probably be selling seafood. That's probably what the people in that area are accustomed to spending good money on rather than barbecue. Now, is that to say that you can't be successful with a barbecue restaurant in, say, Massachusetts? No. However, you have to kind of cater what you're going to be doing to your audience, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Even within barbecue as a subcategory, in the Carolinas and on the East Coast, barbecue to them is pork. It's whole hog, it's pulled pork, it's ribs. That's what barbecue is to them. And although we may serve some of those things here in Texas, barbecue to us, when we say barbecue, we're talking about beef. We're talking about brisket specifically, and we're talking about beef, dino beef ribs. Like I said, we may sell those other things, but when people are coming to get barbecue, 9 times out of 10, they want brisket. We have a lot of agriculture here, a lot of cows here, and that's kind of what people like, okay? And so what are you going to serve at your pop-up? What are you going to serve during your catering business? I was talking to a gentleman, TJ, shout out to you, TJ. He's in New Orleans. He's planning on doing barbecue, but he's got to include some kind of Cajun spices in there because salt and pepper, he said, just ain't gonna cut it down there in Louisiana, which I get. That could work here in Texas. We're big on salt and pepper. We use a lot of other spices as well, but we're not going as crazy as the Creole spices and all that here in this part of the country. But in Louisiana, that's something he's going to have to do. So number one, that is kind of what flavor profiles you're going to go with for your area, what type of food you're going to go with for your area. But also, you have to take a real hard look at yourself and ask yourself, is the food I'm trying to sell good enough for people to actually pay good money for? Because sure, you can get that customer one time, but if they eat the food and it's not up to the standard that they think they should be paying good money for, then they're not going to come back. And at the beginning, you need repeat customers to support your business. Our pop-ups, when we're popped up in the same location, we have repeat business because people liked the food and they came back. And that really, really helps us out. So one of the ways that you can make sure your food is on point is by testing. You need to cook the food. I would say probably you need to cook whatever you're going to sell at least 10 times for other people. That could be friends and family at the beginning, but I would encourage you as you get closer to that 10th time to probably start broadening maybe to acquaintances, maybe to neighbors, things like that, so that you can get an opinion from people who aren't in your immediate family, people who aren't going to tell you, oh yeah, that's good. Because everybody's got different taste buds, and you want to be able to make sure that several different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, when they taste your food, it tastes the way that they like it. It tastes the way that they're going to want to come back and spend money on. So you need to, before you do anything, I know people are, after watching some of my videos on the pop-ups, they're going to Academy, they're buying $100 pop-up tents, they're buying a grill, buying a Blackstone, they're buying a smoker. That's awesome. I love to hear that. But before you start selling, you need to test the food you're going to be selling. You need to try it. Now, I'm not saying you have to absolutely perfect what you're doing yet, because you're always going to be getting better and better at what you do, or hopefully that's the goal. But you need to at least have a really good understanding. You need to make some mistakes. That's what it comes down to. You need to cook some food for some people. They need to try it, and they need to say, man, that wasn't tender enough. That had too much salt, or not enough salt, or that doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. I.e. on a brisket, my first couple of briskets, I didn't have the bark that I wanted. It wasn't a black bark like you see at these big restaurants. It was very light. It almost looked like a ham. And so rather than just jumping out of the gate and going and serving something like that, I said, okay, thanks for the feedback. And I went back to the drawing board, threw some more brisket on the smoker, and tried to perfect it again and again and again and again. And I am still making tweaks to my recipes and to my cooking methods and processes to make sure that they are the way they need to be. So guys, I urge you, especially if you're planning on doing this long-term or for full-time income or part-time income, rather than you just trying to go out and do it for a week and make a couple $100, you know, if you're going to do that, I guess have at it. But if you really want to take this thing seriously and you want to do it more on a consistent basis, and you want to have repeat customers, you need to make sure that the food is on point. And I think that is going to be the most important thing for your barbecue pop-up business or catering business. And one tip that I would give you is do not try to have a ginormous menu, especially if you're doing a pop-up event. You simply just don't have the room and the capacity to be able to cook all of it, to store all of it, to keep it all warm or cold. It's very, very challenging to do that when you're under a 10 by 10 tent. Sorry, there's a truck passing by. I want to let him go by. But keep a limited menu. And if you cook a bunch of stuff in testing, and I'll give you an example. I really thought that I needed to go ahead and serve beans and beans and potato salad, because a lot of people here in Texas with barbecue, they like baked beans or pinto beans and potato salad. And I tested those items. Unfortunately, I am not very good at making beans or potato salad. I don't like beans and I don't like potato salad, so it's very challenging for me to get the flavor profiles correctly. Now, when I start hiring cooks and chefs and other people in my restaurant, if they have a really good bean recipe and they have a really good potato salad recipe, cool, we can incorporate that. But as of right now, I'm a one-man band in the kitchen. And with that being said, if I can't serve a good product, I'm not going to serve it. I would rather have a menu with 4 items on it than have a menu with 10 and the other 6 be subpar. So you need to key in on 4 or 5 items that you're really, really good at and just sell those. Just sell those. And with a barbecue, it's pretty easy to do because, it's pretty easy to do because most of the time when people are going to buy barbecue, yes, when you level up, you want to have really good sides. I'm working on leveling up my sides at the moment. When you have a restaurant, you definitely want to have good sides. But if you're doing pop-ups and things like that, they're mostly coming for the smoked meats. And so you need to key in on a couple meats that you're really good at doing and execute on them. So with that being said, hopefully this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.